In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a free automated idea machine that not only scrapes, but also filters all of your competitors' content so that you never run out of good ideas for your business. So by the end of this video, you will have a working workflow and the skills necessary to build these automations for your business as it goes. Let's go ahead and dive right in. This is the agenda for today's tutorial. First, we'll set up all the different apps or softwares that we need, and then we'll glue it all together with make.com to make this super easy to use in the future. So if you don't have a Notion account yet, go ahead and create one at notion.so. And then here, we just want to create a page, an empty page. Let's name this content machine or something. And then here, just press slash and then create an inline database. Let's name this creators or YouTube creators. Keep it nice and neat. And then we'll add all of our competitors on here. In this case, I'm just going to use Alex Ramosi as an example. So I'm going to copy his username on YouTube, which is whatever comes after the @ sign. Where did I put Notion? Here it is. And then just add that on there. And then let's create another inline database that will serve as a repository for the output of all the ideas that we get. So here, let's call this content output or whatever you want. And now that concludes step 1. Let's go over to platform.openai next. If you don't have an account, again, create one, then go to dashboard, go to API keys, create new secret key. Here, name it whatever you want. Just make sure you keep track of your keys properly, not like me. And then create one, copy it, and make sure you save it, because once you press done, you won't be able to access it again. You'll have to create a new one. So copy it, and then I'm just going to paste it here for simplicity's sake. And make sure you have a credit card connected to your OpenAI account, or this will probably not work. I'm not sure if they have free credits or something like that. So yeah, now step 2 is done. See, super easy. Let's go over to Apify next. Apify, if you don't know, is essentially a library of web scrapers. So if you don't have an account, create one and then go over to the console. It will look something like this. Essentially, they have a bunch of different web scrapers. In this case, we're going to use a scraper called YouTube Scraper. There are a bunch of different YouTube scrapers. Make sure if you're following this tutorial, you're using the same exact one I'm using. I'm using this one, created by streamers, maintained by Apify. You can just search this, and I think you should be good to go. And just make sure you run it once, because this is going to be necessary once we build this in make.com so that it does appear. So yeah, now we're good to go. We can just abort this. And that concludes step 3. See, super easy. Now, let's go over to make.com and connect everything. So if you're brand new to make.com, go over and create an account and then create a scenario. After you create an account, again on make.com, create a new scenario. It will look, if it's empty, it'll look like this. And then you'll have to connect all of your accounts for this to work. But it's easier than it might look a little bit overwhelming, but it's pretty easy. For example, the first module that you select is the trigger. In this case, it's going to be Notion, where we're going to essentially search for all the objects in that database. And then here, if you haven't connected your Notion account, you want to press add, then press on connection type, press public, save, and then it will ask you to sign in. I'm already signed in, so it'll just show my name and my account. And then it will ask you to select pages. For simplicity's sake, I just recommend you select all of them and allow access. Because if you don't select it, it won't be able to read the information that you have on your database. So now let's go back to Notion. And let's select the database that has our competitor's username. So we'll press on the 3 dots next to the name, press on view database, and now we'll select the string that comes right after your username or your Notion workspace. So you want to copy that and then paste that over in database ID. So for simplicity's sake, I'm going to jump over to the fully built out version, but you can just build it as I go. You're going to get this template for free. I just want to explain how it works in a top level so that you understand how to edit it and fix it in the future or adapt it to your use case. So Let me just open that. Okay, so here we go. After this module, you want to essentially aggregate all of the usernames so that they're easier to process. So the next module is tools, then text aggregator, where we'll basically have to run this once in order to actually get the data that we need to map this. So when you press on the text box, then you want to open properties, values, names, and then you want to select plain text. This is the field that contains our competitors' usernames. And after this, we essentially so how Apify works is that you need to input a JSON. That sounds complicated to run the actor, and it is kind of hard coded. So you need to provide the usernames in a certain format or it will not work. So it's really important that you have an OpenAI module next. Which again, if you're brand new to make.com, you'll need to connect your account. So just press next, and actually I'll just show you. OpenAI, then create a completion. And then here, you want to press add and paste in your API key that I pasted over in Notion. I don't know where to find it. Here it is. So you want to copy that API key that we created earlier. You want to paste it in there and we should be good to go. So now we connected OpenAI. Now we want to give it a, wait, let's select the model first. So I usually get the latest model. But you can, I don't think you need it. It's probably a bad habit of mine, but anyways, I select the role, the user role, and then text content. This is where your prompt is going to go. And again, the main goal of this OpenAI module is to format the usernames in the correct way so that our Apify actor runs properly. So go ahead and copy this prompt. This is how I do it. Keep in mind that every Apify actor is going to have a different JSON input for it to work. In the actor that I'm using, this is the input that we need. So I basically tell it, this is a prompt that I give it. You can just copy it as is, or again, you'll get the template for this. So, and just make sure that you map the output from the text aggregator in the prompt, because if it's if you're using the template, you'll still need to map that most likely. So after that, we want to add a Apify actor. So again, you go over here, Apify, you want to press run an actor. If you don't have an account yet, or you haven't connected your account yet, you need to press add, then connection type, and then Apify recommended first, the first one, and then it'll ask you to sign in, essentially. You just need to sign in and select it. I'm already signed in, so I don't need to do that. And then it will ask you to select the actors. Just make sure you select the right one. In this case, YouTube Scraper. And then this is the input JSON that I was talking about earlier. You can go over to Apify and select the actor and see the JSON input necessary for it to run. In this case, it looks like this. Every actor has a different input JSON necessary for it to run, so keep that in mind. It's going to be different by agent or by actor. So I basically just copy this and put it in here, and essentially, let me just paste this, which there we go. So I basically just asked ChatGPT to format the search queries key value pair in for the username. So you can go ahead and copy it like just like this, or use the template below. I just want you to understand the fundamentals of it so that you're able to fix it or use whichever Apify actor you want in the future. And the next module that I add is a sleep module, because we want to give this enough time for it to run. This is going to vary by the amount of usernames that you're going to scrape. This is in seconds, so I usually give it 2.5 minutes, and which is usually fine. And then we need a different module to retrieve the dataset items from this module that we ran earlier. So here again, you basically want to add the sleep module, give it enough time to run, and then add another Apify module, which is going to retrieve it. Here we go. Get dataset item. And you just want to select the ID from this module, from the run an actor module. Now, these two modules are responsible for evaluating and filtering out the content that is applicable for your business from the pieces of content that are not really applicable to you. So, to be honest, this is not necessary, so I'm not even going to explain. This is just for a personal use case, so I'm just going to delete that. Essentially, we are prompting ChatGPT to analyze the piece of information based on criteria that you need to specify depending on your business. And if it is something that is relevant to your business, we're going to ask ChatGPT to say yes, the word yes, because we're going to set up a filter that if the output of ChatGPT equals yes, then it will be added to our Notion database. But if it is not yes, then it won't be added. So here, as you can see, now that we have the summary of what this is doing, essentially it's evaluating the piece of content that we got from the Apify get a dataset item module. And if it is relevant, we're asking it to respond yes. And if it is not, then I just ask it to give me a short explanation. I just want to see how it processes information, but this is not necessary. And then you just want to feed it the information from the Apify get a dataset item. So in this case, it's going to be just the title. Actually, we need to run this once because it's empty. So we can't refer to a field that does not exist yet. So let's go ahead and run it. Actually, I need to map this since I deleted the OpenAI module before that. There we go. So let's run this, and this is going to, yeah, as you can see, this formatted it properly so that the input JSON worked, and now it did run properly. Now we're waiting for it to run. And while we're waiting for it to run, if you're a business owner and you want custom systems and automations specifically for your business, I'm offering a free audit call where you can just check the link below and you can speak with me directly. And if you're not a business owner or you're simply just more technical and you like setting up these systems yourself, I have over 70 free templates of different automations that you can implement in the same link below. So make sure you check that out. And while we're waiting for that to load, I'm going to give you a quick introduction into Notion databases so that you can take full advantage of this. You're able to view these in different layouts. I like viewing it in the board layout because it's easier to keep track of. And all of these conditions inside of the pages and you can think of these as properties. So if you go on the three dots, you're able to edit the properties. Right now, they're being filtered by status, as you can see they're being grouped by status, but you can also edit the statuses by going to the properties. And then here, for example, let's rename this to idea. So every time a new idea comes in, we'll put it in here. And then if it's in progress, we can add more properties in here. So for example, planned, or then it's going to be recorded. And next is going to be edited. And now this could be posted once it's completed. And then you can also add more properties inside of each page. So for example, we go into properties, new property. You want to select a type. So this would be text, and we can make this the script. And you can also have ChatGPT generate the script directly from Make. Or you could also have a number property that keeps track of the amount of likes that the post from your competitor got to see, so you can evaluate the potential of that piece of content. So it's super flexible. So make sure you play around with that. And now let's go back. Now you see that it ran properly. Now let me just stop this. And oops. No, I think we have to run it again. No, but it's fine. Okay, so now that we ran it, we should have some sample information. As you can see, we have the title. Right now it's empty because I accidentally started it again. but this is going to be the title of the video that we got from this module right here. So essentially now it's going to analyze this piece of content, and we're going to, if it's relevant to my business and my ideal customer, which are small and medium-sized businesses, then it's going to reply, it's going to give us the word yes as a result. But if it is not, then it will not go through, which leads me to the last piece of this automation, which is create a database item. So let me just delete this and show you. So essentially, we want to add another module, Notion, and then select create a database item. Here, we want to input the database ID of the database where the pieces of content are gonna go. So we select the content output database in this case. And now we select, again, the database ID. We put it in here. And now, as you can see, these are the properties that I showed you earlier that you can customize as you please and map them as you want. And you can create as many of those as you want. And the special part of this is we're only going to add ideas that are relevant to your business. And the way we do that is, of course, with this, but how do we make it so the ones that are not relevant don't get added? And we add a filter for that. So we press on this little tool gear icon, set up a filter, and this will only let through conditions that are true. So if the output from this OpenAI module, which is number 210, the result equals yes, then that means it's true. It will go through, and then the idea will be added. And you can map the fields as you want. And you can also have other OpenAI modules that create scripts, variations, hooks, whatever you want based on the transcript of the video. So it's super customizable. And just make sure that you have an error handler for this OpenAI module, because in case that for some reason it's not able to process a piece of information, maybe it couldn't transcribe it or it didn't get the right data, we don't want it to stop right there. We want to keep going, ignore that one, and keep going with the rest of the ideas. And you can set this automation to on a schedule. I usually run it like once a month, and it gives me enough ideas for the whole month. You can also set it on, I usually run this on demand, to be honest. You change that by going here to this little, I guess, clock icon, and then changing it to whichever schedule setting you want. So it could be on demand, it could be every day of the week, etc. So there you go. You have a fully set up and working automation so that you never run out of ideas. If you found value, please consider subscribing, as I'd really appreciate it. And I put a lot of time into these type of videos. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.